Hi, I'm Callum from Time Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you the handover on the Mooveo P6. So now walking around the vehicle, to open your habitation door, you use the round-headed key. You put in and turn up, and then that opens the door, and then if you turn it down, it'll lock the door. You've got your two fridge vents, you've got your C-rail on there for your driveway awning should you get one to give you extra space. And then you do have your toilets. So your toilet's in here, this is where your cassette lives. Again, it opens with one of the round-headed keys. Push the buttons in, and then to get your cassette out, if you just lift this tab here and slide out, you'll only get the cassette out if the blade on the bottom of the toilet is closed. And then empty. We'll take the cover off, so we'll take the black cover off here. And then press this button here and you can tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, put some water in, give it a slosh round, press the button again, tip it out again. If you are using the chemical liquid form, you can put a bit in the top here. Or if you're using the tablet form, you can add about a pint of water into the box, put the box back into the van and drop one straight down the toilet, and it will degrade into the liquid. You've also got some wheels so you can pull it round the site once it is full. It will indicate on the toilet when it does need emptying and replenishing with chemical. And then as long as when you push it back in, as long as you hear the click, it's in properly. On the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake lights, and then you do have your bike rack. So this is a 3-man bike rack, so it holds 3 bikes. So you put your through the rails, put the bikes onto the rails, put these through your spokes, and basically it allows the bike wheels to be bolted to the frame. And then you put these through your crossbars, so bike 1, bike 2 and bike 3. On the passenger side of the vehicle, you've got your under storage for your bed. Again, to open these locks. So that's shut. So you give them a whack, and then to open, turn it, and allow it to pop out, and then you can turn it. And you've got this catch here which just clips onto the door there, holds the locker open when you're underneath. Underneath here is where your leisure battery lives. And then in here is your boiler drain. So this is your boiler drain. So this is an automatic boiler drain, and it'll drop the water at 3 degrees. But when winterizing the vehicle, you don't want to leave any water inside the vehicle, so none underneath, so in the fresh tank or the waste tank underslung, or the boiler which holds 10 litres of water. Otherwise, if the 10 litres of water freezes in here, it's very expensive to replace a Truma boiler. So what you need to do is, you need to turn this, the button will pop out and the water will drain directly underneath the wheel here. And then when you come back to use it, if you just turn here and push the button in, that is in the closed position, so then the boiler will start holding water again. So what you do is you'd fill the vehicle with water, turn the tap onto the cold side, you get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it will cough, it will splutter. What it's doing is it's dragging the water from the tank underneath the van into here, filling the 10 litres up, and then once it gets to 10 litres, it will start coming through your taps. And then once you've done one tap, do the bathroom tap and the shower tap and so on. But in the winter, it's very important that you leave all the water out. So once you do open this, open all your mixer taps and take your shower head off and allow the shower hose to lie in the bathroom shower tray, just to stop any water from freezing in the taps or pipes in the inside of the vehicle. Outside you've got your hookup point, so to hook the vehicle up you'll need a 25-meter hookup lead. Get your hookup lead like so and push it on here and allow the collar just to rest on the top, and then you can lie the flap down. You've got your boiler flue on this side, so just make sure that you don't obstruct it. It just allows all the nasties from the water heater and the boiler out the side of the vehicle. And then underneath, this is your grey water, so this is your dirty water, so any water that's went down the plug hole. So normally you drive over a grid on the way out of your site and you've got a lever here which you'd pull open and then it'll just dribble the water out. This is just a bit of water where we've tested the vehicle. Or if you're on a smaller site, it may just be a gully or a hole in the ground. LPG, liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker. So this holds two 6 kilogram gas bottles. So to get the bottle in further back, you'll just lift these bars out to get one further back, and then to attach the pigtail to the bottle, it's a left hand thread to hand tighten and turn on at the top of the bottle. Always tie them in when you are traveling, make sure they're tied in, and make sure it's turned off when you are on the road. And then in here, this one, it'll open with one of these round keys, and this is your freshwater intake. So I'd go and buy a hose pipe and put a hose pipe into there with some fittings, because just most of it's just brass taps on site. Put a hose pipe in there until it overflows, or until you're happy you've got enough water on board. You can see on the control panel when it is full. And then to fill the vehicle with diesel, it is at the passenger door. So it opens with the main ignition key. And then you can fill it with diesel. And then in the cab on the slam panel you've got the tyre pressures, so 5 bar at the front, 5.5 bar at the back, which in PSI form is 72.3 on the front and 79.5 on the rear. Underneath your seat you do have a toolkit. This has got a torn iron, a screwdriver and a jack and a brace.
No spare wheel with this one.
And there is no spare wheel with this vehicle, so it'll be an inflation kit you get as well. Underneath this cab is the engine battery, so this cover lifts off in the cab and the engine battery lives in there. So should you need to replenish the battery for any reasons, the battery's obviously in good working order now, but in a couple of years time it might not be holding charge anymore, you might need to change it, and this is where you do it. So you turn these with a screwdriver and this cover would lift out, and then you'd take the nut off the top of the battery and you can take the battery out and change it. To open the bonnet releases on the side of the dashboard, so you just pull this, and then if we go around to the bonnet, you can then lift the secondary catch, which is here. And then you've got your weight plate here, so forget about this weight plate, you go off this one, so Pilot, it's obviously part of the Mooveo group. You've got your chassis number, your ZFA, 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you want to put a tow bar on and tow anything, you can tow an extra 2 ton behind you, which means your vehicle and your trailer can't exceed 5.5 ton, and you've got your front and back axle weights. If you did want to jump start the vehicle, I know the battery is underneath the floor, but you do have a jump point here, so you've got an earth here, so you'd earth your black jump lead here, and then if you lift this cover you'd earth your red positive on there for giving or receiving a jump start. Over here you've got all your various liquids, so you've got your brake fluid, you've got your power steering fluid, you've got your screen wash for your washer fluid, and you've got your antifreeze, which is a radiator fluid. You've got your oil filler and your oil dipstick just there for checking the levels.
Okay, cool.
So above the door you've got your main control panel. So on here you've got 12 volt on and off. It's indicated there that we are on 240 volt. Next to it you've got your water, so this is turning your water pump on and off. So on, you get the light, off to the symbol, and then you can check your levels of your battery here. So you've got down for your van battery, which is green, and up for your leisure battery at the back of the van, which is green as well. And then this little rocker switch as well does up for your fresh water and down for your wastewater, which is your dirty water you've used. And then next to it you've got your Truma combi. So in the middle it's off, and then at the top you've got two water settings. So you've got heating the water at 60 degrees, and once it hits this temperature within the boiler, it will cut out until the water cools, and it will then kick back in. I'll do that on the water settings. You've got heating the water at 40 degrees. You've got off in the middle. You've got heating on its own, so should you have no water on, you can have heating on its own. Or you've got heating and hot water. So you've got heating and your hot water temperature at 60 degrees at the bottom. And then this 1 to 5 is just your thermostat. So 5 is about 30 degrees of heating, and 3 is about 15 to 20 degrees. Your heating on this vehicle is just gas by itself, so you can't heat it off electric, it's solely off the gas. So make sure you've got your gas is turned on, and make sure you've got enough on board. You've got a switch here for your lights, and then to lock the door on an evening, you just push this catch down. So lift it up to unlock, push this down, and that is locked from the inside. So in your kitchen area you've got 3 gas rings. So to light, if you use a igniter, as this doesn't have a ignition, so a light. Like so, and there is all your gas rings lit. So once you've used this, allow it to cool before you put the lid down, so it doesn't shatter with it being glass. And then below you do have your Fetford fridge. So if you turn on and off here, then you'll get that. This button changes the source, so it can be on automatic, and it'll automatically find the best power source available. So there it's got the auto, and it's got the plug, which is hook up, mains 240 volt because we are hooked up. If I was to take the hookup out now, it would go to gas, or if I was to start the engine, it would go to the 12 volt setting. If not, you can manually override. So there I've got the 12 volt, it gives a code 10 failure because the engine isn't running. The engine must be running to use the 12 volt, as it's a feed from the alternator, and it's basically designed to keep the fridge cool when traveling. So the idea behind this is to pre-cool the fridge before you travel. So if you're lucky enough to keep it at home, put on hookup about the day before, put your shopping in, allow it to cool overnight, and then when you do start driving, put on the battery, and it will keep your shopping at the temperature it was when departing. If not, you could go to gas, and it self-ignites on gas, and then this is just your temperature here. So going from 1 bar to 5 bars being the coldest. And then part of winterizing as well, if you do take all the shopping and remaining of food out of the fridge, clean it out with anti-bac, make it smell lovely. You can put fridge air fresheners in here just to keep the smell. And the last thing you want to do is shut the fridge door, because then you're trapping the air. So if you go to your handle and you lift your catch up, you'll see this little toggle here. Pull the toggle out, put the toggle clip just underneath here, like so, and then there will allow air ventilation in and out the fridge to stop any mold or moist or bacteria or funny smells from growing in the fridge. And you also have your small Dometic grill. So this has got an ignition, the light here, And then it's got an ignition as well, so it's an oven and a grill. So there's your oven lit. The oven's lit like so at the back. Let's see, your oven's lit there. And then your grill, like so. If you're having trouble lighting anything on gas, if you always bring it through to the hob first, then your boiler, your fridge and your oven should light, because you bring it to the highest place first. And you would prime your gas.
Yeah, that'll find your gas. So go, that'll get your gas.
In your bathroom, you've got your domestic toilet. So if you press the button at the back, this gives you a flush, which will fill your bowl like so. And then, like I was saying, this lever here is your blade. So to deposit your waste into the cassette, you just pull that forward, it'll open the cassette. This must, if this is out like so, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle. It must be closed in like that. And then it'll go red when it needs filling and when the cassette needs emptying, like so. You've got your button to fill your bowl, and then you've also got underneath your sink for your toiletries, up here for all your toiletries. Your lights, I've got a switch on the side, taps, so lift your plug. And then that's your water kicking in. So you can hear the pump kick in, and that water's lovely and warm with it being heating on gas, as it's gas only. And then, like I was saying, your shower, if you take your shower head off and allow this hose to lie in the tray, it stops any water getting caught in the U-bend. And when you're travelling, make sure your shower screen is tied back, otherwise you'll hear some clattering about in the back. And to open this skylight, if you just use here and twist and open it for ventilation. And then you do have a blind. This is on a spring, so be very careful with this. And then that'll black it out on an evening. This is your wardrobe, and in here you've also got the max view booster at the back, which is Vision Plus, so it's a TV booster. And then your aerial, so when you're travelling, make sure you've loosened this nut off and pulled the aerial into the vehicle as far as it will come. And then when you're on site, you can push it up and turn this toggle, which will turn the aerial on the roof. A tip is here to look where the other motorhomes and caravans are pointing, but when you are travelling, make sure it's secured into the vehicle, because you don't want the wind from ripping the aerial up off the roof. Underneath your wardrobe, in your small cupboard, you've got your gas tap, so this isolates your oven, your hob, your water heater and boiler, and your fridge. Should there be any problems with gas, turn them off at the top of the bottle. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. Underneath your rear travelling seats, if you unscrew this, this is your fresh water tank, which is on board. And to drain it off in the winter, there's a bung on a chain just down here, and you'll be able to drain, pull the plug, and all the water will drain out. But it's just in this top corner here, you'll feel it, it's on a chain. Take the front bed, if you press the button on the side of the leg and fold the leg down, and then if you just pull these catches back here to loosen it from the support bar, lift the table up and off the top bar and down onto the bottom one, like so. You can then use the base cushion back here and the infill cushions, which I'll show you in a second, onto here. And this is how you'd make your additional third berth. So you'd use the base cushion, which you can use upside down or on the right side if you wish. You'd use the cushion from the base of this seat in there. This is the infill cushions, which you'll find underneath the bed. And you do have to add the extension piece, which this bit is on the wardrobe, in the wardrobe where it lives. So what you do is, there's two arms here, these push in, So this will lift off. These arms slide out from underneath the table to give support, so slide them out, and then there's 2 lugs on either side. Push them into holes on the table like so, and then that will hold its weight, and then you can put that double infill cushion on here to here, because that's got the boards in the bottom for weight distribution, and that'll make a small single bed.
We hope.
Underneath your bed you'll find your electric unit, so you've got your 12-volt fuses here, so it would be a good idea to carry some spare plain fuses with you just in case they do blow. You've got your battery charger here, your Sargent battery charger, fuses here for your various equipment which is listed here, and then you've got your solar panel regulator which you don't need to do anything with, it's flashing green so it's charging. And then in here you've got your trips, so should a kettle or a hairdryer or a high voltage appliance trip the van out, try here first before you try your site. And of course you've got your boiler and your boiler drain, which I've shown you from the outside but can be accessed from the inside underneath the bed. So to operate your TV, first of all you need to make sure this switch here is on, and you'll get the red light for the standby on the TV. And then you can turn the TV on, and to retune the TV, every time you go to the next site you will have to retune the telly, so you go to menu, and then you go down to auto tune. So you do an auto tune through menu, which is here, this button here, and do an auto tune. It'll find as many channels as it can in your area. If not, this telly does, if you go to source, does take a DVD which you'll slot in this side, so you can put on a DVD or USB by changing the source, and the USB would go in here, just there. But always retune your telly when you move sides. Swivel your seats in the cab. You've got 2 levers like so, one on the passenger, one on the driver. Simply pull it, turn it round. If the seat was to get stuck on anything, if you just readjust the driving position, and you'll be able to turn it. So now in the cab, so at the right you do have your handbrake, which is down here. You've got your electric windows, you've got your mirror adjustments, which is the top and the bottom, so you just choose it by using the joystick. You've got your headlight adjustment here and mode, which will change the date and time here. On the end of the wiper stalk you do have your trip computer, so that'll tell you your range, your miles per gallon, your average consumption, and your travelling times. You've got your various light settings, so side lights or your main lights. 5-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar and up here for reverse. The padlock locks and unlocks the cab doors on an evening, so you lock your habitation door manually and you can lock the doors on a night. You've got your hazards, you've got your fog lights, and you have your heated mirrors should they be wet or foggy. 12-volt cigarette lighters. This locks with the key, so if you've got a sat nav or anything valuable in here you can lock it away. On the outside ring you've got your temperature, and on the inside ring you have your fan speed. Must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. And then you do have your distribution, so where you want the air to go to, and your circulation, so you can recirculate air within the vehicle or bring fresh air in. You've got your JVC head unit on this model, so to work you turn on here, so you turn on there. And then you can scan for your radio channels. You've got an auxiliary for a 3.5mm jack, or you can press source and you can change it to auxiliary in, AM, FM, or of course you can put a CD in there and it'll read that the CD is there, and then you can skip your tracks, your volume, and then turn off, you just turn off like so. And to eject, button down here, and you can pop the head unit front out if you are storing the vehicle, and that just simply kicks in So always clip the right hand side in first. You've got a clipboard there to put your site reservations and other bits and pieces on. And then in here you do have a top glove box which is cooled and heated by the air conditioning, so it's a great place to keep sweets when you're on the road, chocolates. And then you've got your other glove box there. Obviously your carb lights here, visors, and to black the carb out you do have curtains, so your curtains would come round on this track.